grateful to be here and to be moving. Let's start at the front edge of your chair. Stretch your legs nice and long, and then with your palms flipped away from you, let's circle our arms up and down. And always a good reminder that there's a way to move, maybe if you're feeling a little lower energy, which is just kind of relaxing your arms and going up and down, but to invite more muscle use, use your own body's resistance. Press down as you go down and push up as you go up. And then over time, as you get good at creating your own resistance, you can sometimes go a little faster, but still create that same resistance, and you'll get more work around your shoulders, in your arms, all the way to your fingertips, and tuning into your breath here. And sometimes you'll find it's easier to, say, create resistance on the way up, but then you forget to kind of press down on the way down. So it's fun to pay attention and see what you need to pay more attention to, what we all need to pay more attention to. Smooth inhales and exhales. If there's a purpose you'd like to set for your practice, we do this once in a while. What do you want to be more aware of in your practice of life? What do you need to focus on to support your well-being? Set that purpose, set that intention for yourself now. And I'm really working on creating my own resistance, and I can really feel this in my arms. Okay. Next time your arms come down, no rush, reach behind you, hold onto the chair. How about a little bend in your elbows, elbows hug in, ribs drop down, head slides back. Actually, let's go ahead and with your elbows bending and hugging in, drop your chin down to your chest and rotate your thigh bones all the way one way and all the way the other way. And this way, if you slide off the front of your chair, your arms are there to hold on. Try to turn from the very tops of the thigh bones. You might notice that as you go in or out, the knees want to slightly bend. Try to straighten the legs a little bit more as you rotate. And feel the whole rotation, not just end range of motion all the way internally or all the way externally. So it's the same thing here. You can create your own resistance. You can just do your legs kind of floppy, or you can go very slow at first and try to go slow through the entire rotation to invite more muscle to work. All right, relax your arms. Sitting up tall, we're going to do all three of those rotations. So we'll start with our feet turned out to the side. And with your feet turned out to the side, point your feet and then hinge forward. I have to get up to a place on my chair where I don't slide off. So turn your feet out to the side, point out to the side, hinge forward for a moment there. Breathing, and come up and flex your ankles actively with your thigh bones rotating open, and rotate forward there, straightening and relaxing your legs, tuning into your breath. And then come up and let's go to internal rotation. Thigh bones rotate in, point. So try to touch the balls of your feet or the balls of your shoes closer to the floor as you fold forward any amount. And then slide back up and flex your ankles in internal rotation and hinge forward from your hips here. It just feels so good to move the body, and then come to toes straight up and down and point actively and hinge forward. And slowly slide back up and flex actively and hinge forward. And slowly come back up. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and reach your arms low in front of you. Turn your palms face down. Open low out to the side. Bring your thumbs in. And remember, you can create your own resistance. So you're going to turn your palms to face each other now. Press out and pull in low. Turn your palms to face up. Press out and pull in. Okay, let's go one height higher. Start with palms down, thumbs together. Press out and pull in. Turn the palms to face each other. Push out and press in. And then turn your palms to face up. Press out and pull in. Let's go one height higher. Start with the palms face down. Press out and pull in. Palms face each other. Press out and pull in. And rotate the palms of the hands to face up. Press out and pull in. And let's go one height higher. Turn your palms face down. Press out and pull in. Turn the palms to face each other. Press out and pull in. And turn the palms to face up and press out and pull in. And then open your arms up a little lower than your chest. Bend your knees and walk your feet nice and wide. And you know, sometimes we start at hip distance, which we want to come to more often, but sometimes you can just walk your feet a little wide and then slowly open over time. So maybe start there with me, and then you're going to wrap your right arm on top, and every time you're going to drop your elbows and your shoulders down, and then open your arms up and do left arm at top, pelvis tilting upright, and open up. And right arm on top, reach around as far as you can, relaxing your shoulders and your arms down. Open up, left arm on top, and open up. Right arm on top, left arm on top, and right arm on top. Hold, elbows and shoulders drop down. Now you're going to drop your right ear to your right shoulder and go nice and slow. Same thing here. You can go quick or you can create your own resistance. Go nice and slow as you circle your chin down and around all the way until your left ear is over by your left shoulder and you're looking ahead. And then do the same thing, nice and slow. Go down and around. Soften the face, relax the jaw. See if you can feel every angle of pull along the backs and the sides of the neck. And then once your right ear's back to your right shoulder, lift your head up, open your arms up, cross your left arm on top, relax your elbows and shoulders down, but also wiggle your fingers around. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder, and then slowly circle your chin down and around across the front of your chest. Take your time until your right ear is all the way over at your right shoulder, and then go in the opposite direction, going down and across. Feel the upper back, tuning into the breath, and come all the way over to that left shoulder, and then bring your head up and open your arms up. And how about walking your legs a little bit wider? And then from here, let your arms come down inside your thighs, palms face behind you, pelvis upright, ribs extra relaxed down like you're doing a crunchie, and arms rise up, shoulder distance, and arms go down. Always a good practice to get in the habit of spreading those thumbs out away from your other fingers, and tap down. Arms rise up, and tap down, and arms rise up, and tap down. Switch the rotation, thumbs forward, arms rise up, tap down, and it's almost as though your ribs are going in one direction as your arms go in the other direction. Arms rise up, tap down, arms rise up, creating your own resistance, not only on the way up, but also on the way down, and arms rise up, and press down. I just realized that I don't spend a lot of time working on the resistance on the way down. And turn your palms to face forward. Arms press up and press down. Let's do 3 more like that. All right, and release your arms. Okay, walk your feet into hip distance. You can use the floor or you can use the block at any height, the lowest height, the medium height, the highest height. I think I'm just gonna do the lowest height today because I know I haven't done the lowest height in a while. So you're gonna put your right heel up on the block and we're first going to point actively and hinge forward and fold any amount over that leg, focusing on keeping the heel centered, and then slide back up and actively flex, the version that we need more often, most of us, and hinge forward here. Nice long length along the back of the leg. See if you can just feel that difference based on the position of the ankle. All right, bend that knee, walk that block a little bit out to the right, and put your foot up there and point actively. Notice if your ankle rolls to one side or the other, try to center your heel and hinge forward there. And then slide back up and flex your ankle actively and hinge forward there. Same thing, does the foot and ankle tend to twist, center your heel? And come back up. And now you'll bend that right knee and take that block across over towards the left foot. And from here, you'll stretch your right leg across, point actively, center of the heel, hinge forward nice and slowly. Breathing. And then come on up and flex actively, centered heel, and hinge forward there, any amount. Smooth inhales and exhales, and then come on up and let's switch legs entirely. So put the block in front of your left foot, that's in line with your left hip. Actively point and hinge forward. Check the position or the roll of the heel. Come on up, actively flex and hinge forward. Relax any clenching around the thigh. All right, roll yourself up. Slide the block a little bit out to the left. Put your foot out there. Point actively and hinge forward. And slide up and flex actively and hinge forward. And then come on up and let's switch. Slide the block over in front of the other foot and then reach across and point actively and hinge forward. And slide up and flex actively and hinge forward. All right, and slide back up and bend that knee and place that block out of the way. So we're gonna spin around for a lunge. You want to find a place that you feel stable so you don't have to use your hands, but keep leaning some weight into that left hip or right hip, whichever hip is on the chair. And then from your lunge, knee right under the hip, bend your outside elbow. In this case, if you're going the same direction as I, it'll be your left elbow. And then bend your wrist down. So often halfway through, I'll notice people's wrists are not bending down anymore. Keep bending your wrist down as you pull your pinky finger back towards your forearm. And then go over to your ring finger, down and back. Center the ball of your foot, ankle right behind your knee for that left leg. Middle finger pulls down and back. Is your back foot floppy or just slightly engaged? Pointer finger gently down and back. That's often the tightest stripe across the hand. And then the thumb down and back towards the forearm. And then release and slide that leg forward and spin around to the other side. Slide your knee back right underneath your hip, your ankle right behind your knee. Toes tucked under or top of the foot active. Bend your elbow, bend your wrist down, pull your pinky finger gently down and back. And your ring finger. Letting the breath flow here, taking conscious breaths. Middle finger. Feels good to come into a position and then just go back to your breath. Great habit to get into. Pointer finger and thumb. All right, release that thumb, slide that leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. We're going to do ankle crossed over the knee or any height of the block. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the lowest height because I haven't done that in a while. So I'm going to put the lowest height inside my left foot and put the edge of my right foot on and let that hip drop open. And I know it might feel like less because it's not as high as my knee, but every angle makes a difference. All right, from here, let's hold our right hand straight ahead, palm faces the ceiling, pull the pinky finger down, just the pinky finger, and then the ring finger pulls down and back. Try to stretch all your fingers long as you're stretching, pulling down on one finger. Middle finger, ring finger, shoulders relax, pelvis upright, relax any clenching around the buttocks muscles, thumb, and I can just feel that I don't do this angle very often in my hip. I can feel specific muscles in my buttocks that perhaps I don't usually get into. So it's quite amazing. Don't cheat yourself. Do more angles, find things of more heights to put your foot on. All right, from there, release that hand. Let's take a side bend with our right arm up and over, lengthen through the hand. Curl the hand into a fist and keep reaching through the upper arm. Bring that hand down. Left arm goes up and over. First, all your fingers, the palm of your hand straight, and then curl your hand into a fist and reach through the upper arm. And then bring that arm down. Reach back, hold onto the chair, a little lower than your shoulders. Bend your elbows, hug them in. Let them go out to the side, hug them in. Ribs dropping down and back the whole time. Elbows turn out and wrap in. Elbows turn out and wrap in. And elbows turn out and wrap in. And then drop your chin down to your chest. Really let your neck hang. And just slide your ears straight back over your shoulders without your chin lifting up, without your ribs lifting up. And then from there, release your hands, sit up tall, twist your belly button to the right. Feel the waist turn, stacking the head right over the ribs, right over the pelvis. Twist your belly button to the left. That right thigh is dropping open. And then unwind your twist and hinge forward from your hips any amount. Great opportunity to check that left foot. The edge of it is straight. And press on up. And let's switch feet. So outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance, block or just cross your left ankle over your right knee. Let that thigh drop open. Left hand palm up. Pull the pinky finger down and back. Try to keep all the other fingers nice and straight. And the ring finger down and back. Middle finger down and back. Pointer finger down and back. Relax, clenching around the outer left hip thigh. Thumb out to the side and down. And then let's take our left arm up and over side bend, curl into a fist, reach through the upper arm, bring that arm down, take your right arm up and over side bend, pause for a moment, curl into a fist, reach up through the upper arm, and bring that arm down. From there, reach back, hold onto the chair, maybe a little bit lower. Bend your elbows, hug them in, keep them pointing straight back as you lift and lower your chest down and you're trying to move your rib cage separate from your pelvis. Breathing here. You know, it's easy for even my mind to go into this place where it's like, I do this movement all the time. do I need to keep doing it? But I was just reading another paper about how you can't bank your health. And truly, if you don't do all these little motions regularly, the body starts to atrophy within 2 weeks. So it's not something we can really do enough of. We just have to keep coming back to it and be patient and kind to ourselves. Next time your ribs drop down, keep bending those elbows, hugging them in. Drop your chin down to your chest. Think of your ribs staying down and back, and just slide your ears straight back over your shoulders. And then sit up tall, release your hands, twist your belly button to your left, and twist your belly button to your right. And unwind and hinge forward from your hips, letting that left thigh drop open. You can flex your ankle a little bit more, work on a neutral ankle if you'd like to. Let your breath flow here, those nice rib breaths into the back and the sides of the ribs. All right, come on up. Walk your feet wide, maybe a little wider this time. Inner thighs open. Let's reach our arms out to the side with nice long fingers, thumbs spreading out. Flip your wrists down, flip your wrist up. Keep working on the thumbs. Wrist flip down, wrist flip up. Wrist flip down, wrist flip up, wrist flip down, wrist flip up. Okay, curl your hands into a soft fist. Turn your wrist down, turn your wrist up. Wrist turn down and up, wrist turn down and up, and wrist turn down and up. Now straighten your fingers back out, wrist flip so fingers point up. Take your hands up into the air, maybe touch those fingertips. Slowly come all the way back down to your sides, and then bring your hands back straight out. Flip your wrists down, take your arms up. Maybe the backs of the wrists touch each other, and then keep curling the wrists down as you take the hands all the way down next to your thighs. Bring your arms up shoulder height. Curl your hands into a fist, flip your wrist up. Take your arms up into the air. Maybe your knuckles touch each other. And slowly go down. Keep flipping your wrist up so the inside of your wrist maybe touches your thighs. Bring your hands back out to your sides. Flip your wrist down. Slowly go up so the back of the wrists come towards each other. And then keep curling the wrist down as the hands curl under towards the thighs. And then bring your arms back out to the sides, flip your palms up, reach out through your upper arm bones, and then release your hands down. Inner thighs open, but ground through your feet. Hinge forward here. You can put your hands on your thighs. You can put your elbows on your thighs. You can bring your hands to the floor. And then you're going to push down through your feet to come up. And now you're going to hold onto the back of the chair. So go slow at first with this. And then you're just going to hang forward. So you're holding onto the chair, but your upper body's hanging like you're trying to do a forward fold. We're not pushing our ribs forward, ribs back up, but we're just hanging to get a nice stretch on the chest. And feel free to play with moving your hands a little higher or a little lower. I know we've done this in the past, but we don't do this one regularly, and I'm thinking this is a really good one to add in regularly. Take another breath here. Press into your feet to come up. Okay, walk your left hip to the center of the chair, and then heel toe your right leg out so your toes and your knee are pointing that way. Usually we straighten the leg, but today we're just going to stay with a bent knee. And then from here, let's circle our arms out and up, and let's use that resistance. Press down and push up. And sometimes you can work on pushing down through the hands and pressing up through the hands. Sometimes you can work on pushing down through the elbows and pressing up through the elbows. Sometimes you can work on pressing down through the shoulders and lifting up through the shoulders. And then from here, let's bend over to the right. Left arm goes up and over. And let's switch. Let's bring that left hand down and right arm goes up and over. And let's do that a few more times. Going side to side, The right knee is open out to the right, tuning into your breath. One more each side. Okay, so now you're going to extend that right leg out, but most of the time I have us turning our foot forward and flexing. How about keeping your toes straight up in the air if that doesn't bother your ankle, your knee, your hip? And now let's do those same side bends. Left ankle under the left knee, right hand slides down as left arm goes over. And then we switch. Right arm goes up and over, but keep extending that right leg. And we'll go side to side like this. Keep flexing your ankle. Remember, flexing the ankle doesn't mean pulling the toes back. And one more each side. And then come up through center, interlace right pinky finger on the bottom, press away, spread your thumbs out. Go on up with your hands, that even interlace, thumbs spreading, side bend to the left, breathing, side bend over to the right, actively flexing the ankle, and come back up and release your hands down and slide your right leg in. Bring your right hip to the center of the chair. And then just heel toe your left foot out, and you're trying to go kind of as far as you can without your whole torso and hips turning. So you're creating resistance here by opening this leg a little wider out to the side. And let's circle our arms up and down, pressing down and pressing up, or pulling down and pressing up. Breathing here. Pulling up works too. All right, let's go over to the left and switch it up to the right. And let's do that a few times. All right, come on up, extend that leg long, maybe work with your heels flexed, your toes straight up in the air. Check that your right ankle's right under your knee, and then we'll start by sliding down to the left and then going up and over to the right. Relax any clenching around the thigh and side to side like this. Last side, and then pull yourself up, extend that leg long, interlace left pinky finger on the bottom, press away, thumbs spread out, take your arms up into the air, go a little bit over to the right, breathing, pull your torso up, bend over to the left, flex that ankle, relax the toes, thumbs spread out. And then bring your torso back up and release your arms and slide that leg in. And then from here, walk your feet nice and wide, sitting up, ribs relaxed down, arms in the air, clap, tap either top of the head or behind, but if your head comes forward or your ribs lift up, drop the ribs down, slide the head back, lift up and open. Clap, tap, and rise and open. Clap, tap, rise and open. Clap, tap, rise and open. Arms come down, feet walk in hip distance, ankles under the knees. Watch the thighs as you press down, push your hips back to press up to stand. Come around to the back of your chair. Keep on practicing all day long when you get out of chairs, when you get up and down off of the toilet. Keep practicing your alignment of your feet, your ankles, your knees. Walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Great opportunity to practice really straight feet and thigh bones rotating into neutral with really straight legs. Breathing here, backing your hips up, relaxing your belly, letting your chest drop down a little, ramping your head up if you tend to always drop the head down. Smooth inhales and exhales. Feel the stability in your legs. And then press through your heels to come up from here with our feet straight and our ankles hip distance apart. We're going to push down through the right outer hip and tuck the top of the foot, the toes, the top of the foot behind you, and just bring it back at your own pace. Press down, hip hugs in. You can work on the neutral rotation, top of the foot on the center, and come back. You're just pausing long enough to just feel that stretch along the top of your foot, the front of your ankle, and then coming forward and checking the alignment as you switch sides. Relax any toe clenching. That means you're tending to thrust your hips instead of backing your hips up over your heels. And this side in particular, my foot still wants to turn crooked. So you might have one side or both sides where you've got to work a little harder to keep the edge of the foot straight. Let's do one more like that each side. And then let's set up for a calf stretch. So whatever you're using, a thin block, a rolled up towel. I've been using a thin block a lot lately, so I'm going to start changing it up a little bit more often so that I have just a slightly different height. Put the ball of your right foot up. Your left foot can step forward any amount. Ankles hip distance. Turn your palms to face behind you. 2 arms backwards. 2 arms straight up without lifting the ribs. And 2 arms backwards and straight up without lifting the ribs. And then from there, bring your hands back down by your sides. Thumbs point forward. 2 arms backwards. Rise up nice and wide, wider than your hips, and swing your arms back, elbow pits forward, and rise up. And arms by your side, rotate those palms face forward, swing up. It's like your ribs are going one direction as your arms go the other. Breathing here, I mean when your arms go up, not when your arms go back. And then from there, let's switch feet. Ball of the left foot up, outer edge of the foot very straight, maybe rotating that thigh bone into neutral, relaxing your kneecap, and from there, palms face behind you. And let's go up first this time, and pull straight back, and up into the air, and pull straight back. Arms relax down, turn the thumbs forward, and up into the air, and swing straight back. Up into the air, swing straight back, creating your own resistance. Palms face forward, press up, and pull back, and press up, and pull back. Good, and then relax your arms by your sides and step off that block. Slide it out of the way. We're going to come back to it in just a second. With feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. You can work on neutral rotation. Of course, maybe holding onto the chair will be helpful. From there, push down through the right hip, left heel in towards the buttocks, and we switch sides, checking the feet, checking the weight is back in the heel with every practice. It's not so much that we're moving, but it's how we're moving. And in many ways, we're trying to rewire our brain to use more muscle, which in the long run means more waste removal, more circulation, more nerve activity, which are all really the 3 keys to health. Healthy nervous system, healthy blood flow, healthy waste removal. Breathing here. Take your time, find those alignments. As you get them, you'll feel more and more stable, more and more able to take your time. And as I'm saying that, I'm definitely not focusing enough on my alignment. And one more each side. All right, let's go back to a calf stretch, but let's do a pigeon-toed. So right foot goes up, heel down, maybe the left foot steps forward. Just stay here and just focus on your calf stretch for a moment. While you're here, you can check, are my ribs relaxed down? Are my elbow pits forward? Is my head ramped back? Are my legs all the way straight? So there's plenty of other things to focus on. Even though we want to give our attention to our calf muscles, is my ankle rolling to one side? There's so many things to practice on even when we're not doing bigger movements. And sometimes those little subtle ones are the most important. Okay, let's switch this leg. So foot turns out to the side, hips square, maybe step the outside foot forward. It might be different, but keep the hips squared, so don't let the hips turn one way or the other. And just enjoying that calf stretch here. Focusing on those muscles, straightening the leg all the way, relaxing, clenching. My ultimate goal for you, which I am not going to tell you pigeon toe your foot, step your foot forward, that it's going to happen and it's going to stay this way. It's a continuous practice, but my ultimate goal for you is just not even to just avoid discomfort all the time in your body, but it's really just to feel good in your body. And it does take consistency of paying attention to these things, but if you get that consistency, your body should feel better and better over time. And it's just interesting, step back and turn the foot out to the side, because it really does relate back to yoga. I mean, in a way, what we're doing here is, my background started with yoga, but we're really working more on human biomechanics stuff. But the main tool that we're supposed to experience from yoga is awareness. And it's awareness. That's the hardest part. It's so hard to pay attention more often to turning our feet straight, to keeping our hips over our heels, to rotating our thigh bones into neutral throughout the day. But if you gain awareness, you gain so many other benefits. So it's awareness. Awareness is the key. Check on your ribs, check on your elbow pits, check on your neck. All right, and then step that foot back, and you can slide that block out of the way. And now with feet straight, ankles hip distance, feel free to have your chair in front of you with one or two hands on the chair. Push down through the hip, hug it in, flex your ankle. Let's do some little leg lifts out to the side, and you can tap your toes down every time, or you can keep your ankle flexed. Tuning into the breath. All right, let's switch sides. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Push down through your outer hip, hug it in, and take your time, because you might need to tap your foot down and readjust your alignment, or you might need to check, oh, my hips need to be back over my heel, and pause for a moment. So you're doing this at your own pace, and you're just checking in with how everything's feeling. All right, and put that foot down and face your chair. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, thigh bones kind of rotating into neutral as you sit back, and press up. So neutral also helps you naturally create more resistance in your body. So when I was saying like push your arms up, pull them down, when you're in neutral, you're actually already actively creating more resistance in your own body. Breathing here. All right, next time you sit back, keep your left hip hugging in as your right leg steps back. Tap your toes, step your right foot back up. Keep the left hip from popping out to the side. Right foot steps back, center the ball of the foot, push off, step back into the chair pose. Step back, press off, step back, and press off. Okay, sit back, hug your right hip in. Left leg steps back. Try to feel the entire ball of the foot as you push off. So a lot of times we just feel the big toe, and that's okay. You can go from the pinky toe side. Of course, the big toe is the long, it's the last thing you're gonna feel, but do try to feel the pinky toe side of your foot and then roll off the big toe as you step up and step back and press up and step back and press up and then stand up, feet straight, ankles hip distance, circle your arms up, clap, tap, elbows in, extend, open, step your feet a little bit wider, clap, tap, elbows hug in, extend, and open. Step your feet a little bit wider, clap, tap, elbows hug in, extend, elbows still hugging in, and open, feet open a little bit wider, clap, tap, elbows hug in, extend, open, fold forward to the front of your chair, less than halfway, feet very straight, like you have rulers, you're lining up your outer ankle bone with your outer pinky toe bone, back your hips up, relax your belly, so start a little bit higher, and then we'll just drop in small increments, an inch. Torso goes down an inch. Hips back up. Torso goes down another inch. Hips back up. Torso goes down another inch. Hips back up. How about one more? Torso goes down another inch. Hips back up. Press through the backs of the legs to come up. Your feet are nice and wide. Turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Bend the knees, steer it right over that straight foot ankle. Press long through your left leg, and your right arm goes up, and we're going to do that same dance, and your left arm goes up and over. And right arm, press, it's like your lower body's a rock and your upper body's a wave traveling over the rock. 2 more each side. Ground into the heels of your feet, tune into your breath. And then pull your torso up, turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, bend into the knee without the knee going past the ankle, long leg. Over time, do see, can you step your feet a little bit farther apart? And then from there, left arm goes up, and then left hand comes down to the thigh as right arm goes over. And grounding into the heels. And just taking your time and going side to side, letting the breath flow with ease. If you ever find yourself holding your breath and you keep coming back to it and you keep holding, that's a sign to slow down a little, take a break, do a little bit less. Let your breath lead you. And last time with the right arm going over, and then pull your torso up, parallel your feet. Now you're going to just fold forward a tiny bit, shift your hips to the right, hold, not your torso. Torso stays centered, shift your hips to the left, back your hips up and hold. And we're pretty high here with our torso. And then we come back to center and we lower our torso an inch. So you don't want to start down here. Start a little higher so you have room to move. Hips shift to the right, neutral thigh bone rotation. Hip shift to the left, edges of the feet straight. Back to center, torso a little bit lower, 2 straight legs. Hip shift to the right. And hip shift to the left. Back to center, torso a little bit lower. Hip shift to the right, backing the hips up. Breathing, hip shift to the left. Back to center, back your weight up into your heels, push from the buttocks to your heels, and then from there, heel toe your feet in. Stand sideways at your chair, so maybe turn your chair around to one side. Walk out, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Just first, circle your arm up and over to the chair, keeping your hips stacked over your heels. And then slowly press your hip out. You want to go really slow with this one because it's a much bigger range of motion than it may feel in your body. So you want to ease into it so that you don't hurt anything. And then slowly pull yourself up. Now walk close enough to the chair that you can use some finger support here. Push down into whatever leg is closest to the chair and rotate your thigh bone that's in the air. Weight back in the heel. Is the hip pushing out to the side? Hug it in. Keep stretching that rotating leg nice and long. All right, next time your toes turn out to the side, whichever side is away from the chair, bend the heel like you're coming into a tree pose and straighten the leg, foot out to the side. Keep focusing on the standing leg hip. Bend the foot up and lower down, and just see, going slow, how high does your foot go? To your shin, to your knee, a little bit above, and lower down. Bend in, knee going out to the side, and lower down. Bend in, knee going out to the side, and lower down. And now bend in. You can rest the foot anywhere. I don't mind if you put it on the knee. You often hear not to rest it on the knee, but just please don't push your foot into the knee. The work is in the standing leg, so your foot can be very relaxed if it is on your knee, or you can just go a little bit below the knee, or if your hip allows, above the knee, letting that knee drop open, press down through the outer hip of the standing legs, maybe take the hands off the chair for tree pose, and then maybe bring that hand back down. Reach your opposite arm, the hand away from the chair in the air, and side bend over towards the chair. Breathing here. And then pull your torso up and take that leg down, and let's switch sides. So either turn around or pull your chair over to the other side. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, ankles, knees, and hips stacked. First, just side bend towards the chair. Then slowly press your hips out. Take your time. These are the same muscles that when we're balancing, we don't want them going out to the side. We want those muscles hugging in and pressing down. But one of the ways, if they're really tight, that they'll get stronger over time is to stretch them out. And then pull your hips in. Walk close enough to the chair that you can rest your fingers without leaning forward. Push down through the leg that's closest to the chair. Let your other leg float and rotate your thigh bone here. Check the standing leg. Is the weight over the heel or the front of the foot? The front of the foot presses down actively, but the weight is in the heel. And the more that you push down through that standing leg, the easier it'll be to keep the rotating leg straight as you rotate. And then next time your toes turn out to the side away from the chair, bend the knee like you're coming into a tree pose. And extend. Foot stays turned out to the side. Keep working on the pelvic lift. Bend the heel and knee in. And extend. Bend in like you're coming into a tree pose. And extend. And bend in like you're coming to a tree pose. And then just set your foot wherever it lands. Keep using your outside leg. Maybe your hands let go of the chair for a tree pose. Breathing. How about maybe bringing that one hand back down and your outside hand goes up and over, but even though you're using your hand lightly, still work those outer hip muscles of the standing leg. And then pull your torso up and bring that leg down. Turn and face your chair. Walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Sit your hips back. Even here with your feet straight, you can kind of slightly be rotating your thigh bones open until they're in neutral. and then stretch your thigh bones back. Same rotation. And let's bend and extend. And let's bend and extend. And let's do one more like that. Bend and extend, and then push through the heels to come up. If you have a wall, great. If not, just reach your arms out to the side. Reach your one arm out to the side. Thumb on the wall, spreading out. Elbow pit wraps towards the ceiling. Turn your chest away from the wall. Relax that outside arm. Breathing here. Don't forget to do this one after class if you do this class and you're not by a wall. When you hold it after class, about 30 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, up to a minute is great. And turn around and do the other side. Thumb spreads out. Elbow pit wraps up towards the ceiling. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Turn your chest open. So you can work on hips over heels here. You can work on neutral thigh bone rotation, neutral pelvis, neutral rib cage, neutral skull, neutral elbow pit of your outside arm. And now that I focused on all that, my thumb is curling up on the wall, so I'm going to work on that. All with appreciation and gratitude for our bodies. We're just trying to work with our bodies. We're not trying to make our bodies wrong. We're just trying to work with them and help support them. And unwind your chest. Okay, release that arm. Let's do a double calf stretch. If you have a couple blocks, if you have a rolled up mat, if you have a rolled up towel, put the balls of both feet up, your heels down, outer edges of feet straight, thigh bones rotating into neutral, back your hips up. Breathing here. If you want to, you can fold a little lower without your pelvis coming out of neutral. Step your feet up a little higher. Relax any clenching. So it's okay to find your boundaries and play with them a little bit, but just make it a little bit, not a lot. And then slowly come up, and if you don't have a wall, cross your right arm on top and walk back. Otherwise, let's do it higher today. So with feet straight, ankles hip distance, cross your right arm on top of your left arm, walk your hands in opposite directions of each other. Neutral thigh bone rotation. And left arm on top of the right arm. Neutral thigh bone rotation. Head ramps back a little bit. Thumbs spread out a little bit. Breathe into the sides and the backs of the ribs. And then come on up if you're folding over the chair. Come on back to your chair. Take your time sitting down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. And so I actually talked about this recently, that sometimes be aware, but don't change your alignment. So I figured out that when I sit down normally, if I don't pay attention to my alignment at all, I have one foot that turns out, one foot that wants to be in front. And that's how I sit down. And so you can imagine the habit pattern I'm building in my body if every single time when I'm not paying attention, that's what I'm doing. I'm using one leg more than the other, which is one of the reasons why I'm always feeling like one leg is tighter, one leg is a little weaker, et cetera, et cetera. So sometimes notice what your habit is, because if you can notice your habit without judging yourself, it's going to be easier to start to come into a place that helps you use your muscles more equally. Okay, let's go right into that chest hang again. So walk your feet wide, hold on, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, and hang off the chair. Ribs, are they pushing forward? Can you draw them back and in and ramp your head back, but still hang off the chair? And the back of my chair is coming up off the floor a little bit, but I feel very stable. My feet are not going to let me tip forward. All right, and then come on up Twist your belly to the right. Twist your belly to the left. Okay. Unwind. Okay, so often we do this. Do it with me. We do side bends, side bends. But sometimes we're not aware that as we're side bending, there's these slight twists going in our spine. Like, it's very common. Next time you're in your car and you're sitting, notice if one side of your back is always kind of off the chair and the other side is touching. And try to get both sides of your back equally touching the car back of the chair when you're driving, if that's your habit. But so let's sit all the way back, sit up as tall as you can, and so that you can feel parts of the back of your chair, so that you know that you are not pulling one side of your back off the chair. So you don't have to be leaning all the way back depending on your chair. Just feel it touch at some point and do a side bend up and over. And you might notice, oh yeah, my spine really wants to twist when I take that arm up and over. Keep your back evenly touching the chair in the side bend. And you can do the same thing at a wall. Like, props are excellent for showing us what's going on in our body. And then switch and take your opposite arm up and over and just notice. And right away, for this side of my body, it wants to turn forward. So I'm going to keep both sides touching evenly as I go over. And we're definitely going to play with this more often. All right, bring that arm up, walk yourself forward, stretch your legs straight, hinge forward over your legs. Relax, clenching around the thighs. Maybe give your legs a rub, a squeeze. And then sit all the way back in your chair for your final pose, Savasana. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Taking sight out of it helps us stay more focused, because your eyes are one of your strongest sensory nerves as far as distractions go. If something catches your eye, your mind can easily be distracted. So that's why I'm always talking about softening your gaze, or even better, perhaps closing your eyes if you feel comfortable, and just really giving your attention and your awareness to feeling your body and to feeling your breath. Advice from a tree. Stand tall and proud. And keep in mind, our definition of tall with alignment is different than a lot of other definitions. Go out on a limb. Remember your roots. Drink plenty of water. Be content with your natural beauty. Enjoy the view. Let your breath move you from the inside out as you bring your hands together at heart center in gratitude for this day, in gratitude for the trees. Namaste.